It's spring, wedding season, and the Bridezillas are waking up. Should I feel guilty for skipping my friend's Pricey wedding? I already don't like where this is going. Pricey and guilty in the same sentence is dangerous. But before we start, if you enjoy this type of chaos, subscribe. Let's grow this little community. I have a lot of tea to serve for you. Hey Reddit, I need some opinions because I'm feeling a little lost. My friend Karen, 30 female, is getting married, and while I'm super happy for her, she's planning a huge destination wedding in the USA. We live in Europe. She keeps calling it her real wedding, even though there's supposed to be a smaller one in France where we can all go, but we are not invited yet. Not the real wedding. So the France one is what? A side quest? Here's the thing. Karen is really pushing for my boyfriend and me to go to the USA for this wedding. I tried to explain to her that I just don't have that kind of money lying around. Her solution? Start paying for flights now in small installments and figure the rest out later. I'm sorry. If she wants you to go so much, then why doesn't she pay for the flights at least? Honestly though, I just don't have the budget, and this would eat up my holidays for 2025, which is not really how I want to spend it. Look, if you're planning a destination wedding, you have to realize that not everyone can drop hundreds or thousands for your wedding. Don't act surprised when people cannot make it. Don't make it a destination wedding, or be prepared to pay for the people you really want there and cannot afford it. Don't get me wrong, I love her and would be so happy to see her on her big day. But is it me, or are brides becoming total bridezillas with these crazy demands? Do we really have to change all our plans because it's their year? Some people take my year way too far, but nobody's entitled for your time, your budget, or anything you don't want to do. In this situation, I would tell her, I would love to be there for you on your big day, but I only can afford the wedding which held in France. A real friend would understand, and if she's not, you know the truth. Why do so many weddings now feel like a massive financial burden on the guests? Because a lot of people are living in the Lululand and they think their wedding day is the same level as 4th of July. Karen doesn't seem to understand why I'm hesitating, and she keeps pushing us to get the tickets, and I'm starting to get frustrated. I even asked her about the second, more local celebration, but she brushed it off and kept insisting on the USA wedding. Of course she does that. That's what we expect from a Karen. Am I being unreasonable for wanting to skip this whole destination wedding thing? Of course you are not unreasonable. She acting like my wedding, my rules, has the right to push you into debt. The local celebration exists for a reason. If she cannot handle you saying no, that's not your problem. I would really evaluate this friendship if I were you. OP has an update, so let's jump into it. Hi everyone, about a year ago I posted here about skipping my best friend's US destination wedding because it would have cost me and my boyfriend around 4 to 5k, which just wasn't financially realistic for us. Expecting people to spend that amount of money is insane. And I bet she also wanted gifts because she's a princess, right? I wanted to update because I genuinely don't know if I lost one of my closest friendship over this. Okay, bestie, lay it on me. For background, we all live in Paris. She's American, big family, wedding in a beautiful wine region near where her parents live. Very aesthetic, very Instagram, very curated. The groom is French. My boyfriend actually introduced them years ago. So your boyfriend actually introduced them? Girl, that should come with a free pass, not with a bill. We weren't casual friends. We were see each other every other day friends. Wine nights, random weekday dinners, group chats constantly, trips, real life closeness. Okay, I get it. She wants you there, you are super close. I wanted my best friend to be there for my graduation, but she lives in Bulgaria. So I offered her to buy her plane tickets because I wouldn't expect her to be there for me on her expense. In the end, she couldn't make it, and I understood because that's what friendship is. When the US wedding was announced, I did the math. Between flights, hotels, activities, boat day, wine tours, etc. It would have been close to 4 to 5k for us if we stayed a week. You wanna tell me that you guys are best friends? Her parents are live in the US and you and your boyfriend still would have need a hotel room? Interesting. And the entire Paris friend group felt the same. No one here has family in the US to combine it with. So what exactly the French wedding purpose was? I'm so confused. Before the US wedding, she came to us with a big bouquet and a bottle of wine and asked us to be bridesmaid and groomsmen. It was filmed. Very emotional, very moment. The thing is, I had already told her it was almost impossible for us to go. So she set up this big emotional moment, filmed it, basically forced you to say yes. Girl, this is emotional blackmail 101. It felt like being emotionally cornered on camera. We didn't say no in that moment because how do you? It was awkward. But a few days later, I met her alone and told her clearly we couldn't commit because of money. We wouldn't be able to travel or do anything else that year if we went. She brushed it off. Yeah, I know, but something shifted. I love how you tell her in private that you cannot make it, and she brushes it off and say, yeah, I know, but obviously she doesn't care. Important detail, before the US wedding, we organized and fully paid for a Portugal stag/hand weekend for both of them. It was amazing. We put effort, money, time into celebrating them. So it's not like we didn't show up in other ways. Then 2 months later came the small French wedding. Yes, we got the invite. It was beautiful, intimate, so fun, but she was different, distant, polite, surface level. Not the fun person I used to sit with for hours talking about everything. Now it's been about 6-7 months since that wedding. I've maybe seen her 5 times. Every time the group tries to meet, she makes excuses or insists we come all the way to their place, 45 minutes outside Paris, instead of just meeting centrally where all of us live. It feels like a subtle barrier. She is definitely offended because you guys didn't went on the wedding she wanted you to go. But not talking about it and acting cold is very immature. Meanwhile, she messages my boyfriend weekly for work advice. Let's meet soon texts, professional warmth, but with me, it's cold. How's work? How's life? End of conversation. I really don't like how she's sliding into your boyfriend's DMs twice a week, even if the topic is professional. It's very catty. I've tried reaching out. A few, let's get a coffee and chat messages. Always, yes, soon, but it never happens. After a while, I stop chasing. And why wouldn't you stop? Who needs friendship like this? And I can't help but feel like I didn't fit into the wedding storyline she imagined. The American bridesmaids flew in, the Instagram content happened, the dream aesthetic was fulfilled. The Paris girl didn't. Did we get quietly downgraded? I don't know if she consciously resents us for not going, or if weddings just reorganize people's emotional priorities. But it feels like I lost someone who used to be one of my closest friends. And that makes me really sad. Am I overthinking this? Did I overestimate how much not going would hurt her? Or is this just what happens when expectations don't match reality? I think she should have been happy that you guys celebrated her in France, or find a way to include you. The fact that she cannot get that you couldn't afford her US wedding is ridiculous. Honestly, I feel like you need better friends. Update. Writing here my last comment for better reach as I see many people wondering the same things. Wow, I am really speechless. I was not expecting so many replies. Thank you for taking the time to read me. Yes, I use ChatGPT to help me develop the story, as I don't express myself as well as I do in French. That's okay, girl. It was quite obvious. I saw your M-dash. To clarify a couple of things that have been asked here, my friend has also fallen off with the rest of the girls in the group. I didn't think about this until pointed out by you, but yes, it's not only me. For example, a few weeks ago, it was one of my friend's birthday and Karen didn't come. She told me and another girl in a private WhatsApp that she was very tired and that she's not really that big friend with her to make an effort. I know they don't catch up one-to-one, but still, she went to her Paris wedding. After winning her battle to cancer, extra effort there. And bachelorette, plus she's been there for most important things. I don't know, but that comment didn't feel right with me at all, and I'm just realizing now. Yikes, that comment is not good at all. It is interesting, the effort being made is only important when it's about Karen's events. This is also showing what type of person she really is. The rest of the girls really don't see them as much. Karen was mainly doing one-on-one catch-ups with me and another girl, so I guess the rest don't really have the same relationship as us. By the way, I have not said anything to our other friend. I feel weird talking about Karen with her, and that's why I have read it, haha. Don't worry, Hopi, we are happy to help you out. About meeting her at her place, I would 100% go if she invites me. The only time she has told me to go is when I tell her that we are meeting the group at this bar asking if she wants to come. Whenever she doesn't feel like, she says that it's too far away and that you should do something close to my neighborhood. The thing is, she never ever replies on time. So by the time she says that, we are already there or going to the bar. By then, it's difficult to make the effort to take the train and go somewhere else. If she actually wanted you there, she would make it easy. She is basically testing how much effort you put in. But what about her? She never replies. She doesn't show up. Is there anything she does for you? Because from where I sit, this friendship seems very one-sided. I also wanted to point that we all commute. The group doesn't live walking distance to each other. We all are scattered around 30 minutes to 50 minutes commute at times. But we happen to work in the same area, so we almost always meet around there. Thank you again for your advice. This was not written using ChatGPT, lol. Was she behaving like this before her wedding? Because compared what you mentioned, how your relationship used to be, it doesn't seem like. I think you have to sit down with her and tell her what you think and how you feel. I think this friendship is still salvageable, but only if you both want to work for it, not only you. What is the point of having two weddings if not allow people to attend one or the other? So being the middle of the attention twice, I guess? You need to have a conversation with your husband about her calling him all the time. He needs to put a kibosh on that. Yeah, I hated that part too. I would never text with my friends' partners like that. It gives me the ick. I wish some brides got the memo that their wedding is not worth or important enough for their friends and family to go into debt for. Yes, but these type of people also have main character syndrome. They cannot comprehend that they are not the most important person in the room at all times. As I said, the friendship is probably salvageable, but do you really want to save it? Bridezilla mad we RSVPed no due to a medical issue. Okay, I think that would have been the last time I ever talked to this person. I don't want people in my life who have zero empathy. My friend, aka Bridezilla, asked me to be in her wedding over a year in advance. She then immediately said, I just have one request, and I said, of course, anything. And she said that you not be pregnant at my wedding. What the hell? Why not? We gonna stop and skip everything because you have your wedding this year. My jaw dropped and I immediately replied, given she had not even set a date yet. That was not something I could guarantee and that my husband and I were trying to conceive, but that we only have so much control over the timing and that we would even try to expedite conceiving but couldn't guarantee it. Oh my god, that's insane. She literally thinks she can dictate your family planning. That's a hard pass. How do people end up with friends like this? She then tried to deter me from having a second baby. and even resorted to belittling my husband and our marriage to try and convince me not to. I really cannot understand how after this the story continues. Because after this conversation, I would cut this person out my life so hard, like blocked, ghosted, never seen again. As the months have gone by, she has then told me how she wants me to have a second baby once she gets married, so that we can have kids together, despite me making it very clear that is not what we want for our family. We have been married for years, are in our mid-30s, and want to try for a second. We want kids close in age. What planet this woman is on? Her wedding schedule is not something that's gonna control when you're gonna have kids. Flash forward 8 months of trying to conceive with no success and infertility. The bride gives us an ultimatum to book her wedding 7 months from now and pay in full over $5,000 for an international destination wedding after we have already spent $2,000 celebrating her on The Bachelorette this year. I received a snarky text from her before the RSVP deadline telling me to go put my credit card down for her all-inclusive hotel. Basically, she says, forget your life, finance mine instead. This is Bridezilla energy at its peak. The text even went as far as to say, well, I know you will be there because you are a bridesmaid. This led to a text response from me requesting an in-person convo or phone call. I was trying to be sensitive to the matter and honor of being a bridesmaid. She was a bridesmaid in our wedding and I have tried to show up for her this year. But my husband and I, as we are contemplating IVF, did not feel comfortable booking something so far out in a foreign country that is also so expensive. We have several friends getting married and having babies this year. If everyone expects us to drop 7K celebrating them, we won't be able to pay our mortgage. Anyone who would expect you to drop that amount of money is not your friend. Just as the previous OP, you need better friends than this. I feel what she's asking is ridiculous. Girl, it's more than ridiculous. I politely informed Bridezilla that we were not able to commit 7 months out due to a private medical issue. She then made it about herself and told me how upset she was that I did not feel comfortable telling her my medical matters. Given how selfish she had been prior to, I did not feel comfortable opening up to her about my journey with infertility. I just don't understand, why are you even still keeping her around? This girl is not your friend, she's a frenemy at best. She left it as an open invitation and would not accept my RSVP no. And I told her, thank you for being flexible, we just need to work on a timeline with our doctors. We don't want to book an international trip that interferes with our IVF rounds. Should we go that route, I am also not sure we can afford both. I made a point on the phone call to tell her that we were not pregnant and we were navigating something hard. To be fair, I would not tell this woman anything about my life. Fast forward a few days and I attend a different friend's wedding, and as I walk in, all the other bridesmaids are glaring at me and proceeded to ask me all night long what I am drinking. Bridezilla started a rumor that I was pregnant despite me telling her that I am not. Having a rumor started like that when you've been navigating infertility is horrible. I'm so sorry you have to go through that. I then spoke with a closer mutual friend who confirmed Bridezilla has been gossiping about me and did share that I was navigating a private medical matter. This has led to multiple people asking what was going on, pushing my husband and I to share our infertility news before we have felt ready. I am not sure this is something we ever plan to share with a wide audience, much less on someone else's timeline. Your story making me so sad. It's not enough you're going through something so difficult behind closed doors. You also have to battle your friend group because they're fishing for information. I have since contacted the bride to ask her to stop gossiping about me and my husband. She became extremely defensive and said it was justified because she was hurt that we are not attending her wedding. Putting her feelings above your health and privacy, that's just cruel behavior. Worse, she now feels vindicated because she guessed we were pregnant and spread the rumor before we had the opportunity to tell people ourselves, and at that point we weren't pregnant. I understand her wedding is a special occasion and it is an honor to be included, but I feel so outraged and betrayed that she would would make such a personal time in my life a medical issue about herself. It feels like it has eclipsed our happy pregnancy news. Put stress on me and my health. I was admitted to the ER last night with complications. And despite my repeated calls for her to stop being a gossip, she will not relent and acts like the victim and all of this. Girl, people who gossip about you are not your friends. Stop wasting your time on her. She is a horrible person. Now I am at a crossroads where our mutual acquaintances / her bridesmaid think I am some jerk for not attending her wedding. Everyone feels sorry for Bridezilla because her dad passed away this year, myself included. I did multiple tributes for him, donated to her family's GoFundMe, organized the meal train and attended the out-of-town funeral. I really did try and show up and support her through that. But since then, everyone just seems to be giving Bridezilla a pass for her bad behavior and worse, entertaining the gossip. You went above and beyond for her family and her grief, and now she and the group acts like you are the bad guy. For me, it seems like not one of these people are your friend. So yeah, probably you should throw away the whole friend group. Furthermore, we do not like her fiancé and he has said horrendous, disparaging comments about our mutual friends that are so bad that I don't even feel comfortable repeating. And I feel very uncomfortable spending time around the two of them because I do not want to be a party to the type of talk. I really don't understand at this point. Why are you still keeping this woman around? Bridezilla also asked me to host and pay for a 60+ person dinner party in my home for her and her fiancé who has not made any effort to know us.
How about no?
What the actual I just don't understand anything anymore. Why would you ever do that? I politely declined co-hosting 3 times only to be put on a group text asking me to host again after previously declining 3 times. I just can't with the audacity. At this point, my friendship with Bridezilla is over. Cutting ties isn't just fair, it's overdue. I cannot even comprehend how it lasted this long. I'm just looking for a path forward with mutual friends and could use a PR rep to recover from the smear campaign Bridezilla launched against me. Any advice is appreciated. The main thing is protecting yourself and your boundaries. What I can see, nobody really stood by your side. They all enjoyed the gossip. So why wasting your energy keeping them around? And how do I regain control and share my pregnancy news without the entanglement of her wedding? I hate that she outed us for being pregnant and managed to make something so personal about herself. The best way to regain control is to share your pregnancy news on your own terms, with the people you choose, and ignore the drama she created. But I would seriously consider if any of these people worth your time and energy. Update: I failed to mention she also booked the wedding in the middle of the week, requiring us to need to take 3 vacation days if we were to go. It is also over Easter and spring break, so really a non-starter. She is also requiring her guests to go for a minimum of 3 nights. Despite the resort only having 2-night minimum, we suspect she is getting some sort of kickback. Furthermore, yes, this is my generation and I do think it is insane and wildly inappropriate to ask your friends to spend that kind of money to celebrate you. I never heard anyone had a wedding in the middle of the week, but okay. I close my case. This person is not your friend. Move on from her. And please consider to get new ones. Make your announcement on social media and block Bridezilla and her fiancé on everything. Your lives do not revolve around her and she has proven that she is not your friend. That idea is amazing. Also, it's not breaking the bank. I didn't even read past the first paragraph. I would have immediately said no. I know, right? I only read it because I had to spill the tea. What mutual friends? If your mutual friends aren't telling her to get a grip and off at this point, they aren't your friends at all. Bingo, that is exactly what I think too. OP needs to get away from this friend group fast and find new friends who will appreciate her more. I hope you guys enjoyed today's stories. If you did, please subscribe, leave your thoughts in the comments. I replied them all and see you in the next one.